Okay, so welcome back to the third video in this pre-scene analysis series. Remember, although this is the last video where we're looking directly at the pre-scene, there are going to be two more videos after this where we take all the information we've learned in the strategic analysis video and feed it through some models and tools to see what we come up with. And in the final video, we'll be looking at the top 10 issues that we think are most likely to appear in the exam so that you can feel suitably prepared for when you take the exam. But as I said, we've still got this one more video to go for video 3, and we are just continuing straight off from where we left video 2, and we have now reached down to see what PVS relationships are like with the suppliers. Okay, so we find out in the first paragraph that PVS get all their medication and their supplies needed specifically for the pet treatments from Ireland Vet Supply Limited, and they're the largest vet wholesaler in Ireland. Now, PVS has got a really long established relationship with them, so we're imagining that they're going to be benefiting from reliability and consistency in supply. Now, we also see that there is centralized purchasing carried out by the head office of PVS, and that should ensure the company receives good bulk purchase discounts, and it means it's leveraging its size and purchasing power rather than kind of all 168 clinics buying their different supplies from different people, so not benefiting from the bulk offerings. Now, it's not just the fact that it secures favourable pricing, but also centralised purchasing means the inventory management system is simplified, and also the administrative burden on individual clinics is reduced because those support staff working in the actual clinics themselves aren't having to think about purchasing and rising purchasing and the best places to buy stock and all that kind of stuff. They're just going to put in an order to their head office and get it delivered to them. So that means one less thing for them to do and means less staff required on the ground. Now, you might see in red, I put on screen one cause for concern with this, and that is, of course, if you are relying on a single supplier, then obviously if that supplier has disruptions in their operations, then of course that could mean significant problems for PVS down the line, because they may not be best placed to get medication and supplies for pet treatment from elsewhere. So of course, one thing they should think about doing is diversifying the supplier base, or perhaps establishing a contingency plan in case something like this did happen and Ireland Vet Supplies weren't able to supply them. Funnily enough, with the next set of suppliers, we have something, well, kind of the opposite approach, really. So we're dealing with pet food and pet accessories. Now, in fact, they're sourced from a number of different food suppliers, one being their competitors, the Gloas Group, which we know owns a number of pet food brands. And these goods are purchased directly by individual clinics. So this is the opposite of what we saw with medication supplies needed for pet treatment. This is a decentralized approach. Now, the benefit of this is that it allows clinics to choose the products that they think best meet their clients' needs, because they know their clients better than head office does. So they choose the products they think are going to go down best with their clients. And it gives them a level of flexibility and responsiveness to local market demands. But of course, the benefits we said with the first one are now going to be the negatives we associate with pet food and accessory supplies, because of course we've got flexibility, but what it may do is lead to inconsistency in pricing and stock availability across all the different clinics. So conversely, standardizing procurement practices for these specific items, or perhaps integrating them into the centralized purchasing system at head office, could enhance efficiency and ensure uniformity in product offerings and pricing. I suppose it depends really on how much flexibility we think individual clinics need to purchase pet accessories. Are there varying, I wouldn't have thought there's substantial differences between clients' needs through different regions of the country. There are more lizard owners in one area of Ireland than another area, so they need different equipment. Do you see what I mean? Do they really need to have to respond to local demand, or could it be predicted and rolled out across Ireland? So that's what we've considered so far for both the sources of medication and supplies and the pet food and accessories. What we should say, effective supplier relationship management is really important for PVS in order that they maintain a seamless supply chain. So regular assessments of supplier performance, negotiations for better terms, as well as exploring alternative suppliers are going to help optimize the supply chain. And also integrating technology for inventory and supply chain management can really help improve forecasting, reduce stockouts, and minimize excess inventory. So there we go. There's our supplier information. A brief example of this would be the UK pharmacy Boots. Now they're a nationwide chain. They've got centralized purchasing systems for pharmaceuticals. And of course that means exactly what we saw with PVS, that they can get bulk purchase discounts and consistent supply across all their stores. But they also source over-the-counter products from multiple suppliers, and that gives them the flexibility whilst they're maintaining cost control through central oversight. So there we go. That is our look at PVS's supplier relationships and sourcing strategies, looking at centralized versus decentralized options for their different products. Now we can move on down to risks. Can I get everything on screen? Yes, I can. So I'm going to scroll back up and get it there. So we can see that PVS maintains a risk register, and its risk management program is the responsibility of the internal audit function. The risks covered on this specific risk register are the ones that you would find on most pet vet organisations in Ireland. And basically what we're doing here, or what they're doing here, is taking a structured approach to risk management, and they're making sure they're able to identify and assess and mitigate any risks that may impact its operations and its strategic goals. So let's take a look at each of the risks in turn. And the first risk is competition. And the competition comes from national, regional, and local organisations. And we can see here especially concerning price. Remember earlier on we talked about our market share falling, our revenue falling, and that's because organisations were coming in and undercutting us. We've seen how competitive the pet vet services industry is in Ireland. We've got several providers offering the same service as us, and they're going to be at different price points. So this competition is impacting our market share and our profitability. And this is especially true if competitors are undercutting us or perhaps even offering a superior service. Now, we've talked about this quite a lot. And we've talked about how PVS was offering a differentiation strategy. So it's focusing on innovation and high quality service and friendly staff and local clinics. But of course, to mitigate the risk of being undercut on price, PVS needs to continuously innovate and differentiate its services. And we've talked a number of times about what that could be. It could be unique treatments, improving the client experience, like offering much longer working hours, or mobile clinics, or implementing different kinds of loyalty programs like we've already seen with the successful PVS healthcare plan. So we've got a number of ways we can differentiate ourselves from those organizations which are undercutting us and providing a competitive service. The next issue, the next risk we are facing are key employees. So where's my blooming mask gone now? There we go. Sorry about that. Key employees. So basically here, it's something else we've already talked about, the failure to attract and retain staff. Of course, probably highest on that list would be the veterinarians, because we know there's a market shortage. We know it's expensive to train for the 5 years, less people are training, the market is growing, so there's simply not enough vets to go around. So we've got difficulties in recruitment and retention. Now, of course, we've seen the knock-on effect to that is increased workloads, burnout, stress, and of course the knock-on to that could be lower service quality, especially one of our things is kind of happy, knowledgeable staff. Well, if they're all burnt out from working 3 different roles, they're not going to be that happy. And bang goes another one of the qualities that differentiate ourselves for it. So one of the ways that PVS could mitigate this risk is to really focus on creating a really attractive work environment with competitive compensation so that, they're attracting the staff. They're thinking, okay, well, these guys are offering more money. I'm more attracted to work with them. You're going to recruit the best vets as well. You also want to make sure you're helping to continually develop your staff by offering professional development opportunities, and you also want to make sure you've got a really supportive workplace culture so that when you get the staff, you retain them, and you also retain the existing staff that you already have. Because it's no good thinking just about attracting all these new staff with more money if you're bringing them through the front door and all your remaining staff are leaving through the back door. So there we go. That's how you could mitigate the key employee risk. And our third issue is to do with health and safety. So obviously here it's the failure to comply with health and safety legislation that's the risk here, because veterinary practices have to adhere to strict health and safety standards to protect both staff and clients from potential hazards, like we talked about earlier in the previous video, like pet bites or, I don't know, rabies. Does rabies even exist anymore? It's the only pet disease that springs to mind, I'm afraid. Now, of course, if PVS don't comply with these health and safety legislation, it can lead to legal repercussions. That means financial penalties and, of course, damage to the company's reputation, which it can really ill afford at the moment anyway when it's trying to make sure it keeps hold of its really kind of high quality prestige name in order to differentiate itself. Now, of course, in one sense, this is probably the easiest one to answer because it's the same for every organisation, industry that you can think of. Each industry has its own type of health and safety legislation. Obviously, some industries are more susceptible than others. And of course, the way to mitigate this risk is to make sure that you as an organisation offer regular health and safety training for all staff. Make sure that you conduct periodic audits to make sure all your checks and everything is in place. And then if you find anything, any issues that are of a concern, then you promptly address the issues to make sure that you're always complying with the legislation and offering a safe working environment. The next risk is something we've touched on, but in this instance, it's a risk in its own self, and that's adverse publicity. And this is coming from mistakes in diagnosis and in treatment, because the services we offer at PVS are highly sensitive. And if you make an error, that can lead to severe consequences for pet health. And of course, it's not just the pet that suffers and the owners that suffer. It's going to be a lot of negative publicity. And of course, you chip away at that client trust. And of course, that's what we're always trying to build. We're trying to build that relationship with our clients so they stay with us, they trust us, they know they can come to us, and they know they can recommend us. So obviously, it would have severe implications from us. So again, we should make sure that we invest in continuous training for the veterinary staff so that they stay up to date with the latest procedures and approaches and all those kind of things. Also implement rigorous quality control measures and make sure there's clear communication channels with clients so that their expectations are managed and any concerns that they have are promptly addressed. So there we go. There is the 4 major risks that we've got at PVS, but also we can see in various veterinary practices across Ireland and how to mitigate them. Now, it's not just veterinary practices that use this kind of thing. In the UK, the NHS, the National Health Service, would use a similar approach in order to manage risks. They'd be maintaining comprehensive risk registers and employing internal audit functions in order to oversee risk management programs. And this structured approach helps the NHS address key risks such as patient safety, staff shortages, and regulatory compliance, just like we've seen for our practice at PVS. So, in summary, we've seen that our risk management practices are overseen by the internal audit function. They're done in order to help identify and mitigate key risks that are related to competition, staff retention, health and safety, and adverse publicity. So by addressing these risks which are listed proactively through strategic initiatives and continuous improvement, it means that PVS is going to be able to safeguard its operations, maintain its high service standards, and ensure long-term sustainability. So there we go. That is our risk section. So what we're going to do now is come on to our new section, which I'm going to try and get on screen. And I can just, and that's financial information. This is a selected summary from our financial information. Okay, so we've got several summaries of information in this screen. We've got our revenue in millions of dollars. We've got a satisfaction score maximum 100, and we've got that for staff and for clients. We've got our staff turnover, and we've got our new clients in thousands. So let's take each of these in turn, and we'll start with revenue. So we are in 20x3 now, and our revenue is $165 million. We're not in it now. It's our most recent set of figures. So how does that compare with the past? Well, if we go back just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we see in 20x0, the revenue was $185 million. Okay, so we know the market is growing, but our revenue is shrinking quite considerably. So what we can see is that this decline indicates potential issues with maintaining market share and generating sales. So it could be a result of a number of things. Could be increased competition, could be a lack of innovation, or it could be reduced client retention, or it could be all three. Now the key thing here is that we need to identify the underlying reasons for this revenue decline. So we're going to be thinking, is it the competition driving prices down? Or is it the amount of competition on the market? So our clients are going elsewhere. Perhaps our client retention is poor because our staff aren't as friendly. Because of retention rates, it's really important that we work out what is wrong. And then, of course, we've got to address the revenue decline. So PSV needs to reevaluate its service offerings. It needs to reevaluate its pricing strategies. It needs to reevaluate its marketing efforts. So by enhancing the range of services, investing in innovation, and improving client engagement are some of the ways, it's not the only ways, I'm not saying it's definitely right, that we could reverse this trend and kind of find a place in the market for us amidst all this competition. Okay, so now let's move over to the satisfaction score. And we've got the same years on screen. And as I've already mentioned, we've got staff in the dark blue or black and the clients in the lighter color. And we can see here there's also something that's slightly concerning. We see that staff satisfaction has been decreasing. Now, we've already talked a number of times through this series of videos about what that could be because of. Could be issues within the work environment. Could be the amount of money people are being paid. Maybe they don't feel they're being adequately rewarded enough for the amount of effort they're putting in or their expertise or any of those kind of things. Or it could be poor management, just not getting the best out of its members of staff. Now, we have seen one thing that immediately jumps to mind is the fact that there's just not enough people in the industry, which is causing burnout industry-wide. So you wouldn't have thought that'd be too far off the mark about why the staff satisfaction might be dropping. But also, if we look at the light blue color, we can see that client satisfaction is also dropping. And of course, if our clients aren't satisfied, that can impact our client retention, because obviously there's lots of other options for them to take their pets to. They don't have to stay with PVS. And of course, if our client retention is impacted, our revenue is impacted also. So again, we could be seeing reasons on this summary why our revenue is trending downwards. Now, there is often a direct correlation between staff satisfaction and client satisfaction, because low staff satisfaction can lead to lower client satisfaction, because, of course, unhappy employees are less likely to deliver a high-quality service. And if you remember, I think it was in video 1, we talked about how we were actually, it must be in video 2. We talked about how we were known for having this happy, welcoming, knowledgeable staff. That's part of our key offering. And if they're already unhappy, well, then our key offering is gone. So definitely there's some kind of cause. Well, this definitely could be one of the reasons why our revenue is trending downward. That is for sure. So what we got to think about is how we are going to improve staff satisfaction. We haven't already talked about this kind of stuff. So we might need to think about addressing workload if that is the problem. Maybe we do need to change how we're recruiting so that we've got more members of staff so people don't feel so burnt out and unhappy. Maybe we've not provided enough training that is client facing. So we're not training people to be good around the clients. Maybe the receptionists are rude. Maybe the vets only love animals and not humans. But something might just be putting off the clients. And also, we've got to think maybe about just offering more money or more benefits. Now, of course, that may help with client satisfaction. Although it's for staff, that may help client satisfaction because the staff are going to feel happier. So that should have some kind of effect on our clients. But we've also got to address the client satisfaction directly. So how could we do that? Well, again, it's things we've talked about. We can improve our offerings for the clients. Improve the quality by offering innovative techniques and care and therapies. Improve our flexibility by offering longer hours, weekend openings, and kind of expanded emergency service offerings. We can improve our communication by letting them book online. Again, making things really easy for them. Maybe we can improve our technological offerings so we can contact them more quickly and more easily, like my vet's doing with me with Primrose, letting me know when it's time for her to take her various different treatments. It's all done automatically. And that's directly addressing clients. Now, of course, we're talking about the correlation between staff satisfaction and client satisfaction. If you've got a lot of unhappy clients coming in, then that does take its toll on staff as well. So it does kind of work both ways. Okay, so that's satisfaction scores looked at. Now we're going to drop down to staff turnover. And for once, we've got a a chart trending upwards, but unfortunately we don't want it to be, because we saw in 20W9 our staff turnover was 10%, and now in 20X3 it is 19%, so it's almost doubled. Now that is a real problem for us, because not only do we have trouble getting hold of vets because of the problems with cost of training and length of training and competition, it means also the training costs. We've got to train everyone again when we hire them. It's disrupting service continuity, and it's affecting the overall quality of care, not to mention the effect it has on morale around the office if people are constantly leaving. And it's a sudden jump up, isn't it? It's pretty much doubling. So we've got issues with staff turnover that's impacting operational efficiency. It's impacting servicing quality. It means we've got to recruit more. So that means more costs, more disruptions in service delivery. You can see how all of this may be impacting the satisfaction score of both clients and staff. So you can see they're all we've got this one big issue that I kind of feel like we need to unpick. And once we unpick that really nicely, things should fall into place a little bit more. So how can we, and this again is something we've talked about, how can we improve turnover? And I mean by improving turnover, of course, reducing turnover. Well, we've got to focus on employee engagement. We've got to make sure there's career development opportunities, which there should be in an organisation like ours, because it's not just like we've got one office, one practice somewhere, and no one can progress past a certain point. We've got lots of different roles people could fill. We've got lots of opportunities. We've got to create a positive work culture. So that's something we've got to think about for the district managers and the senior veterinarians. We've got to make sure, again, we offer competitive compensation so that we're attracting recruits in line with the kind of standards we're selling ourselves as. And we've also got to offer benefits to make sure that we retain the talents we want to retain in this highly competitive market. So, the staff turnover isn't necessarily leaving us because we're awful, but there's so much more competition now. The veterinary skills are so scarce that people might just be offering a lot more money. And it's simply a case of increasing how much we spend, and then our turnover will drop off. So, staff turnover completed. Let's have a look at the new clients now. Okay, so again, a worrying trend for new clients, because we've seen a sharp drop really from 16,000 new clients in 20X0 to 7,000 new clients in 20X3. So we're attracting less than half of the new clients that we used to do just 3 years ago. So we are really having trouble attracting new clients to our organization. Now, if we don't get new client, we're not going to grow. And the significant drop that we're seeing highlights potential weaknesses that we've already mentioned in marketing, service differentiation, or client engagement strategies. So we need to make sure that we strengthen our marketing efforts, offline of course, but also online, which we don't seem to be doing anything of at all, in order to try and attract new clients, because it's a really competitive market now. So what might we do? Well, we might try and offer promotions, enhance online presence, and really try and leverage social media to help us increase our visibility in this crowded marketplace and attract these new clients through the door. Now, by offering a high quality service, of course, should be word of mouth. As people say, well, they're really good, I'd advise you to go there. But of course, our client satisfaction is dropping as well. So we've got to make sure we improve that service so we get these word of mouth referrals alongside our new drive for marketing. So what we're seeing in these financial and operational metrics of PVS, really they highlight several areas of concern. Declining revenue, decreasing satisfaction scores, increasing staff turnover, and a significant drop in new clients. So, in order to address these issues, PVS requires a strategic focus on innovation, staff engagement, client satisfaction, and really robust marketing efforts. And by implementing these strategies, PVS may be able to improve its financial performance and strengthen its market position. So, for revenue management, we might be thinking about things such as dynamic price bundling services and increasing our membership plans like the one that we've got at the moment, which is successful, the PVS Healthcare Plan. By offering things like this, we can stabilize and we can grow revenue. In order to retain clients, we need to ensure we offer a high quality service, personalized care, regular follow-ups, because loyal clients are more likely to refer others and continue using services. And again, that's going to keep our revenue coming in. And then the final thing I think to mention is the employee engagement. We need to investigate employee engagement programs which can boost morale and reduce this turnover, because engaged employees are key to delivering exceptional services and improving the client satisfaction. And of course, that in turn is word of mouth referrals. That in turn is an increase in revenue. So there we go. There's our financial information metrics. Let's drop down now to the final page in this pre-scene. And it's the PVS website extracts. So I'm just going to drop down a little bit more. So these are the website extracts for Praecuro Vet Services. Try and get down as far as possible. Okay, so I want to start with the mission and the vision statements. So our first is to ensure our patients have long and happy lives. And our vision is to be the vet organization of choice. So what we've got there is kind of an aspirational, obviously the mission. What we're saying there is then we want to be able to offer the best possible care to our animals that come through our door, our clients that come through the door. But if that involves new therapies or treatments or whatever it is, to offer the best possible health care. And then our vision is to be the best vet, to be the vet organization of choice. So of course, that doesn't necessarily have to be just for the clients. That could also be for staff members too. You know, it's the vet organization that newly qualified veterinarians want to work for because they've got such a prestigious history and they're such a good company to work for, etc., etc. So what we've got here are two statements which reflect dedication to high standards of pet care, as well as a high aspiration to be the preferred choice for clients and staff. So let's drop down now to the strategic objectives. Okay, so we've got give our clients what they want, which is the bone, I would have thought in a little dog's case, or tuna in my cat's case. Retain our staff so that we deliver the best client service. Be leaders in vet care and client service, and deliver profit via differentiation. So what we got here actually are really nicely aligned strategic objectives with the mission and vision. All these objectives actually really support what we were saying. Patients have long and happy lives, making sure the clients have what they want in terms of treatment, etc. Retaining the staff so we deliver the best client service. Well, that goes towards making sure the patients have long and happy lives, but also retain our staff because they're the organization of choice. Be leaders in vet care and client service. Well, that links into that mission directly. And deliver profit via differentiation. Now, this is what we've been talking about here, isn't it? So by being the best, by offering these therapies, these treatments, these innovative techniques, by retaining staff, we'll be delivering profit via differentiation. So what we've got here is a really coherent framework for achieving long-term success. By focusing on satisfaction, differentiation, staff retention, and leadership in service quality, PVS is going to be able to strengthen its market position and drive sustainable growth. Now, the only thing I would say at the moment Are they achieving these strategic objectives? Are they delivering profit via differentiation? Are they the leaders in vet care and client service? Are they retaining staff? Are they giving clients what they want? And I would say no, they're not giving clients what they want, because we know they want flexible times to work around them. They want the advanced treatments, which we're not really innovating anymore. We're not offering that, even though we used to. And also they want these happy staff. That's what we're known for. We're not giving those either. We know we're not retaining our staff because we've just seen our turnover double in the last few years. And I don't think we're leaders in the client service anymore, as we're not offering things like internet booking, there's no personalized service, and there's no online client portal. And so that leaves us with our final thing. Are we delivering profit via differentiation? Now, we picked up on this quite early, didn't we, through the pre-scene, and that's what the aim was. Because there's so many organizations in the industry now undercutting us. So we've got to find a place somewhere, otherwise we're going to be stuck in the middle. Now, historically, I can see that we followed the differentiation strategy, because we offered a premium service, we were innovated, we were Vet of the Year, or whatever it was, 11 times. We haven't won that in 6 years. And obviously, we're not telling enough people about our service as well. So, our client satisfaction is dropping off, our referrals are dropping off. How are even people knowing about our service to differentiate? Surely they're just assuming we're just another vet anyway. So how do we let everyone know we are a different vet who does things differently? We charge more money, but it's worth it because we really care about your pets. Now, we know there's a market there because we saw right at the beginning in video 1 that the market was really interested. The new market they treat animals like their pets. They're prepared to spend more money on them, but we're just not capitalizing on that. Okay, and then if we drop down to our values, down here, we can see we've got 3 sets of values: teamwork and collaboration, honesty and integrity, and quality and care. Now, this is really the foundation of PVS's organizational culture. So it's going to be these values which guide the behavior and decision-making processes within PVS itself. So let's take each one by itself. Scroll down a little bit. Teamwork and collaboration. We help and support each other so we can help and support our clients. Okay. Honesty and integrity. We are transparent, open, and stand up for what we believe is right. Quality and care. We provide a first-class, innovative service by understanding and fulfilling the individual needs of our stakeholders. Now, I would point out a couple of things here with teamwork and collaboration. We know that staff satisfaction, it is an all-time low. Client satisfaction is linked to that. That's at an all-time low. So there's obviously some kind of breakdown here with teamwork and collaboration. With honesty and integrity, we are transparent, open, and stand up for what we believe is right. So basically here you've got a commitment to transparency and ethical practices, which is a really important element when you're in this kind of industry, when you're caring about people, when you're looking after people, when you have a lot of responsibility. And thirdly, quality and care. We provide a first-class, innovative service by understanding and fulfilling the individual needs of our stakeholders. So we've got the focus here again on an innovative service, which again feeds into the idea of differentiation, but we haven't seen much evidence of it over the last few years. And then we've got something at the bottom, which is career opportunities at PVS. Are you looking for a fulfilling career with an organisation which aims to be the vet organisation of choice for clients and staff? Okay, there's our vision again. We'll empower you to provide the highest levels of service to our clients and offer a family atmosphere, flexible working, a market-leading salary, and generous staff discounts. We have clear strategies in place to ensure fair play and fair treatment, to stamp out discrimination, and to encourage diversity. So we can see there, this is something we've talked about a lot, isn't it, throughout the pre-scene, about making sure that we're offering the correct levels of compensation to our staff, benefits such as flexible working, the family atmosphere. Again, I think we're probably lacking a few benefits here, even if the market-leading salary is okay. But of course, they have to attract veterinarians and other members of staff in order to try and maintain their high levels of service and to try to achieve the company's mission and vision. So there we go. That is the end of video 3. That's the end of our pre-scene analysis. I hope you found it really interesting. I hope you found it really useful. Hope it's kind of made you think about a number of points and raised some issues that you weren't aware of. That's not it for the end of this series though, because of course we do have these 2 remaining videos next. The next one is our strategic analysis, where we take all the info from what we've learned so far and we run it through some models and we'll do some SWOT analysis and pest cell, all those kind of things, which are a really good form of revision for you to take into your exam. So thank you so much for watching and good luck with your revision. See you soon. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it really useful, but you know there's 2 more videos to go in this pre-scene analysis. So I'm going to be doing 2 more full-length videos, picking out the most important bits of information so that you don't miss a thing, so that you don't have to, and so that you're fully prepared for your SBL exam. But that isn't the end. After then, we've got 2 more videos. The first of which is a strategic analysis video. And what we do in that video is take all the info that we've pulled out of the pre-scene and run it through some models and theories and apply it to the syllabus so that you go to the exam fully prepared. And in the final video, we pick out the top 10 most likely issues that we think you could encounter in the exam so that you know what to look out for so that you can structure your revision in the best possible way. So there we go. It's definitely worth checking these videos out. Thank you so much for watching today and good luck with your revision.